Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Suribalde. Wherever you're watching us from, welcome to QTV this morning. I hope you are doing very good. We are also okay and getting ready to interact with our viewers via our social media page. You can send us messages on our Facebook page. You can comment on our YouTube. Be part of this program. And I'm here with Mr. Ade Rame as the co-host of this program today. Mr. Ade, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I will try and pretend to be Julden Jai, and I will hope the viewers don't notice the difference.
I want you to be Mr. Ade Rame.
Yeah, but you know, they're used to seeing Julde here, so you know.
Mr. Boj,
Yes.
I discussed with somebody a few weeks back. He said to me, I can see Mr. Boj tie haftan regular day sol on the program. Mune son. Every day I get him ben. How are you doing, Mr. Boj?
I'm all right. You know, another day.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Another day, another this morning.
Absolutely, slowly kicking, you know, into life.
Mr. Mboj doesn't know
full
this, but
gear.
somebody posted his picture from this morning on, I think it was on the This Morning page on Facebook page, and somebody wrote on underneath, Gambia's best.
Oh!
And I thought, I swear, I'm not kidding. And I said, I replied, I won't argue with that. So
Yes. The person is telling me, if this was football, Mr. Mboj is the Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Mr. Mboj?
Yeah.
And in fact, speaking of GOAT, there's a connection between Gambia and GOAT. LL Cool J has a new album out. And he is the first person to use that phrase. In fact, he says he regrets that he didn't copyright it, because he had an album called The GOAT, and underneath he had the greatest of all time. And he was the first one to do that.
Okay.
But
That's
his new,
interesting.
Yeah, yes.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J.
Wow.
But also, interestingly, his new album actually has a track where Sona Jobate is featured. And I gather that, I don't know if I'm letting out a secret, but they're intending to come to the Gambia to record a video for that particular song.
LL Cool J, I mean, it's not a small name. I mean, we've been
but he
hearing LL
hasn't
Cool J
released
for a
something-
very long time.
I think it's been
in
about
the 80s.
back in the
Back in
80s.
the
Oh,
80s.
in the 80s,
Yeah,
okay.
Mama said knock you out.
Mama said knock you out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that,
Nice,
exactly.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
but he's they're going to be coming here to record the video for that particular song. I hope I haven't spoiled it by mentioning it. Anyway, I haven't said when. So yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
Nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. So
Yeah.
the GOAT
The
of
GOAT,
QTV.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we love that. I mean, you know, celebrate your people when they are still alive.
Well, this
Very
is true.
important,
This
yes.
is true.
So
what's on the menu today? What else do we have on the program?
we have the African code as usual. We'll be taking a look at the code and the newspaper review. Mr. Mboj is the one reviewing the papers with us. I mean, of course, the Fab Foundation will be here.
I think you better explain to people what Fab Foundation
Yes,
is.
the Fatuba Barrow Foundation.
Yes, indeed.
And Mariam Sanyang will be here from the foundation. And the topic of discussion will be Maternal Award Initiative. Children and Maternal Award Initiative.
And also the work of the foundation.
The foundation,
which is
because
quite
we've been hearing and seeing a lot of activities on television and even beyond our borders. I mean, where the Fab Foundation is represented or awarded for certain things. Yes, then we'll talk to the Immigration Department. They are getting ready for the 18th ECOWAS Head of Immigration Forum to be held in Banjul.
That's right.
Interesting. You know, forum it will be, because I mean, there'll be a lot of things to address during that day. When you talk about the 18th ECOWAS of Immigration Forum, I mean, it's a huge forum.
Of course, you've got all the ECOWAS countries still in ECOWAS. Of course, the ones who left, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, will not be included. But all the other immigration heads from all the other ECOWAS countries will be here. And the only other West African country not represented, apart from those, of course, will be Mauritania, which exited ECOWAS a while ago.
Yes, so Mamanding Esdiba, the Public Relation Officer, Gambia Immigration, will be here. And I think we will try to touch other areas as well. We will not only focus on this forum.
No, we
Because
should,
there
because that's what they're coming here to talk about.
There are a lot of things that we can ask the immigration. Let's talk about the issues of the ID cards.
hang on,
we are not printing IDs at the moment.
The thing is, you're inviting them to talk about this conference. You're inviting Diba and you're inviting Mane, who's the local organizing committee. Let us stick to
Yes, but Diba is the
subject.
public relation officer,
Yeah,
so
you know.
it's important to engage him on other things that the immigration is doing as well. Very significant.
Yeah,
The
anyway.
issue of ID cards. I mean, people
Diba,
are
if
not
you're
getting
coming,
IDs
if you're
as well.
coming, refuse to answer any other questions
When,
other than.
when you invited him,
What did you tell him?
that you were
He's
going
coming to talk about. Yeah.
Well, there is nothing wrong making
Anyway, the
follow-up
viewers
questions,
are
Mr.
probably.
Okay, if you want us to engage the PRO on other things, that's the immigration PRO,
no.
send it on our Facebook page.
No.
You see how he didn't answer the
So,
question?
Ibrahim
he's
Omar-
practicing to be a
He's
politician
practicing.
of the local organizing committee. So, what are you going to ask him about?
Don't forget, I'm from URR. URR people are politicians. Yes. So Ibrahim Mane, the chairman of the local organizing committee, would also be here.
Yeah.
And we'll engage them. Mr. Ade and Mr. Boyd said, I mean, we shouldn't engage them on other things. But I think we
You
should
didn't say that.
I think we should engage them on other things.
I'm just saying it's unfair. It's unfair. If you invite somebody to your house for a party and then you tell him, actually, it's not a party, it's a funeral.
No, but
that's
hold on.
misleading.
No, but
You know.
it's in different contexts. I mean, we are talking about different things here. It's not funeral. This is
Anyway,
supposed to be a TV program.
he might not mind. He might not mind answering
Okay, let's see
other,
whether he
other
will
questions
or not. Yes.
if we have time.
Okay, so Mr. Ade, take us through the African proverb
the
today.
African quote. It's interesting because in the thing that was circulated to us, it's next to a picture of Stephen Biko. So I don't know whether it relates to him at all or whether they even know that that's him in the
Stephen
thing.
Biko.
This is the one that says the depth of our life is more important than the length.
Yeah.
The depth of our life is more important than the length. Yes, as you can see on the screen, that is definitely
And he
Stephen.
died early,
He died very early, 29
Oh,
or something.
In his 40s?
29.
No way.
Oh, 29.
40s what?
He was already a doctor.
Yes,
He
quite.
had qualified as a
Yeah,
doctor.
He was young, but not.
But he was
I don't think he
young.
was in his 40s.
Oh,
He was quite
What
young.
year did he pass?
Oh gosh, a long time ago. That's,
60
no. It would be in the
Early
early
80s?
80s, probably early 80s, possibly.
I
Stephen
wasn't
Biko.
born by
Bantu
then.
Stephen Biko. People can
I just
can
heard
look
his
him up.
name.
Yes.
He must be very. He must have played a very important
In
role
the
during
student
his lifetime.
demonstrations against apartheid.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with this idea of
the-
young consciousness, wasn't it? Something
That's right.
consciousness.
And there's famous incident or infamous incident when he was severely beaten by the police and they cracked his skull
Okay.
with a truncheon.
All right. You see how important it is sometimes to delve into the African proverb and bring certain things to light. I've seen this picture, but I didn't even know it's a guy,
it's
Steve
Steve
Biko.
Biko.
Yes, I've
Famous
been hearing.
Steve Biko.
I've been hearing his name for a long time.
Absolutely.
You know, I think there's a
There was
team
a football
called Steve
team.
Biko.
Right, yeah, that's right. That's right.
In Bacau,
In
yes.
Bacau,
yes.
Okay, that's the name that I've been hearing,
Right,
but I
right,
didn't
right.
know the guy itself. If I was thinking Steve Biko, it's a Gambian or
No,
something.
it's
I didn't know.
quite a significant
But now you see, I've
activist.
learned. Now, if I see the picture anywhere, I'll know.
You'll say
a
that
legend is here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So to get to the quote, can I give you the first attempt?
Well, I'll throw it to Mr. Mbod.
No. You're not throwing anything.
I want to hear.
We don't do that.
I want to hear.
We don't throw. This is
Okay,
not-
now, all right, we're giving the honor to our guest. Mr. Mbod, can you help us, please?
1977 he died. In fact,
Okay.
quite recent anniversary, 12th of September 1977. He died.
Exactly.
I thought it was
Few
early
days
80s.
back.
Yeah, yes, so that, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's 50 years since Bruce
Yes.
Lee died too. I saw that the other day. In fact, what happened is I was
He was
just
29.
I was going through the internet, and it was the same day,
Of Bruce Lee's
like the day he
right,
passed
the anniversary.
away. Yes.
Right.
You
Yes.
know?
That was quite a shock as well, because he was also quite young.
Yeah.
But
So,
yes,
Mr.
yes,
Boch,
yes.
the depth of our life is more important than the length.
Yes, I think that the fact that they've got Steve
Stephen
Biko's image, the
Kind
sort
of.
of, yes.
It summarizes
encapsulates-
everything.
That's
it
right.
encapsulates the essence
Yeah.
of really what we're talking about.
Mhm.
A relatively short life,
Yeah,
29,
yeah.
but the impact
Yes.
We can all feel it. I mean, the hit on history, as it were, his imprint, his mark on history, you know, talking about leaving your footprints
on the sands of
time. Absolutely. Why are we talking about him?
In fact, I've just seen another thing which says he died at the age of 32. I think somebody else just corrected one and says, no, he was 32 when he died.
But still,
anyway,
you get the picture. So that is it. It's not the length, as it says, is quite obvious. But of course, the quality of the life, not necessarily the quantity. We used to say all of these things. And Stephen Biko really embodies all of that.
Yes.
You can achieve so much while still so young.
And you know, at the age of 23, he founded the Black Consciousness Movement, which was a student organization. And they did that to kind of fight the sort of apartheid system, where, amongst other things, they wanted to force all the black students, to learn in Afrikaans, which is a kind of Dutch-descended language that the white minority who ruled South Africa spoke as their first language. And they, you know, tried to introduce it in schools and so on. And he was one of those who fought against it. So as Mboj says, I think it's quite apt that it has his picture, because yes, he died young, but what a mark and what a legacy he left, to the extent where there's a football team named after him. So yes, it's not whether you live to be 110, but what did you achieve? What is your legacy when you have passed on? And what did you achieve that was significant? So yes.
So we sort of focus too much on praying for long life.
Long life. Let it be long and productive.
You know, that's more focusing on the productive stuff of what we've got to do right now. So this is the key. That's how I see things. That's how I think. That's how I live. I'm never looking at the long haul, the end game. I do not know.
The quality of your life rather than the quantity of your years.
So that's for God.
Yes,
all I have is just today, now, what I can see.
Is today. Make good use of today.
Absolutely.
Yes, you never know what tomorrow will bring.
Until yesterday.
Well, I think it's
so you dodged the bullet.
It's talking about quality, not quantity. I mean, me seeing that picture without even knowing the person, but when you all mentioned this person's name, and I was like, oh, okay, there is no doubt they put his picture. He lived a very meaningful life, but died very early. So it means that, I mean, short time that he spent, you know, living, he played a very important role in his society. So at some point, even if he died, people still remember his legacy.
He inspired people, he inspired a movement, and his death sparked something. In fact, when they thought that killing him might make people scared, it did the opposite. It made them bolder to say that we cannot let this guy have lived and died in vain. He stood for something, let us also stand for that. So they took up the cause after his death.
So it's reminding me of a very famous saying, a united minority is better than a divided majority, sort of. Sort of, although it's a bit different, but yes, flipped, but somehow, So it's telling you quality, Mr. Mboj, not quantity.
Absolutely, it's always been
live a meaningful life.
Sort of. So someone has to be so shallow, really, not to see it. Because when you look at life, your experiences, and what you see, you get it. That it is really the quality of what I do, not other considerations like how long you've had this or that. So we've always sort of known it. It's just that how do you assimilate it? How do you make it second nature? Because I think it makes a huge difference in the way you interact with people.
But my people, what is living a meaningful life? I mean, what does it mean to live a meaningful life?
It means when you were there, you did things that were productive, things that benefited possibly the wider society, depending on the country and the context. So you look at somebody like Amilcar Cabral. the reason why people still celebrate Amilcar Cabral is because his legacy is being carried on long after his death. Same with Stephen Biko. You know, he stood for something. And those things are things that people think are worth, you know, standing up for, worth representing. So, you know, when you say a meaningful life, you didn't just, you know, turn up, collect your money, or keep quiet when you should have spoken out. You know, when you should have spoken out, you did do so. And so, yes, when people say, oh, you know, it's a meaningful life, then, you know, yeah.
All right. That's the key, the social utility. Without that wider aspect, I'm not sure if society really appreciates it as much. You know, somebody can just focus on yourself and be narcissistic, accumulate, amass how much ever wealth,
but
not very generous,
social,
very Scrooge-like, until you see the spirit, then you sort of
absolutely,
yes. In the wider
well, that's right.
That's the key. Social utility.
Exactly. So let's take a short break. And
I was just checking for newspapers.
Yes, after the break, then we'll take a look at some of the stories, and we'll be back.
For your free videos, pictures, chats, work and school projects, think Free Night Browsing. QCell's Free Night Browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan.
This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. If you're just tuning in, we've already dealt with our African proverb. Now we'll take a look at the newspapers, and of course we have quite interesting headlines.
We have several interesting headlines.
Interesting headlines, yes.
Shall I delve?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'll go first to the Standard, and in the middle of the page, taking up the whole of the middle of the page, says Tangara explains fate of diplomats recalled over scandals. This came up in the National Assembly. They were saying what happened to those diplomats who have disgraced the name of Gambia in various countries around the world. And he said, you know, he then went on to give an explanation that there'd been investigations, some people have been recalled, etc., etc. I think some people were expecting them to be jailed, but don't think nobody's going to get jailed. But he did kind of set out, you know, what had happened to them, that they hadn't been brought home and then promoted. But yes, I think they were asking whether people had been dismissed from the service. I can't recall whether he went on to say that. But there'd been a few sort of scandals involving people who are diplomats, Gambian diplomats, in various countries, about 4 or 5.
Well, if my memory can serve me right, I mean, before they deploy all these diplomats or all these ambassadors to various countries, they take them through a training on how to, you know, serve and represent the country in other countries. But unfortunately, we've been hearing incidents of diplomats getting into situations. We've been seeing people fighting, diplomats fighting.
It's a difficult one because diplomats are human beings. And I can recall years ago, a diplomat being recalled because he was in danger of being prosecuted in England because he was a wife beater. So, you know,
he beat up his wife.
Yes, no amount of training that you do as a diplomat here can account for something like that. So it's a range of kind of things that people have done, and they, you know, they refer to it as scandals. Some, you know,
there was a time when two diplomats, you know, they fought over a woman. Can you imagine?
Like I said, they're human beings. You know,
this is the key. How how do you deal with sort of necessarily, you know, statistically few occasions when diplomats will behave badly? Just as lawyers, some lawyers will behave badly, or some doctors will behave badly. So any profession, you will have some who would just behave badly. So it's just a matter of having a balance. What is it that we do in our service, you know, regarding this kind of behavior? Apply that, and be careful who you appoint as diplomats.
Well, this is it.
And appoint.
And Samboj is right. He could be a doctor, lawyer, whatever. And the reason we hold them to a certain high standard is because literally they are representing the country, and they have the potential to tarnish the name of the country because of how people see diplomats.
Yes.
You know, whether you're a deputy or your first secretary or whatever. When in the newspapers in England, it's a big deal if a diplomat does something, whereas somebody else in that who works in another profession who's not a diplomat who does the same thing won't even make the papers. But because you're a diplomat, it will get into the newspapers. You know, it would say American diplomat does this, da 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 da. I mean, there was an instance where a woman hit and killed a young boy, and she happened to be the wife of the first secretary of the United States Embassy in England. And she fled back to America rather than faced, because the argument then became, is the diplomat's wife also a diplomat? And is she covered by diplomatic immunity? So you have all these things. So, you know, but there are many people who probably were involved in hit and run on the same day and who did end up in court. So, as I said, you know, it then became a kind of whole diplomatic standoff between America and Britain as to whether this woman should come back and face the full force of the law. I think eventually she did, but she only got a suspended sentence even after about 3 years of trying to get her back. But again, the whole thing about diplomats being exempt.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you are chosen among the lot to represent the country because of maybe your qualification, maybe you know your area, you know that area better.
Or maybe because you know somebody in power.
Maybe you know somebody in
because
power.
We have
These are priorities.
We have a tradition of that in Africa, where you appoint somebody because they're your cousin, brother, your sister, your whatever, rather than because they have any particular qualification. We're guilty of that, not just in the Gambia, I have to say.
Exactly. So we move on.
Yeah.
We have something.
Yeah. So Tangara appears again. This time in a slightly more favourable light. Says Nigerian senator says Tangara, perfect leader to guide the Commonwealth. Of course, we all know he's going for the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, and we saw the quite mild debate that he had with his two contenders, Bochwe and Setima. Yeah, you know, at Chatham House just over a week ago, I think it was now. He put forward his case, but now we have a Nigerian senator saying that Tangara is the perfect leader to guide them. Now, the reason why this is important is because they had tried to get a kind of single ECOWAS representative, but because we had Shirley Bochwe from Ghana and we have Tangara from the Gambia, obviously both ECOWAS, we don't have a single ECOWAS rep going for the post, but now we have a Nigerian senator. It's not a Nigerian, you know, member of parliament, you know, but and it's not somebody from the Nigerian government. It's not a minister. It's not saying that, you know. But it's, I'm sure the reason it's made the newspapers is because obviously somebody quite senior and significant in Nigeria.
And saying that, I mean, there are also a lot of
diplomatic offensive.
Yes.
Quite.
Well, I mean, a few weeks back, I mean, there were also a lot of some activists came out and said Tangara should not be
I saw that.
elected to be the head of the of this. I mean, but at some point you will see if the guy is qualified, why not? Why not, Mr. Ade?
No, I mean there are sort of pro and contra arguments. Obviously, I mean, because they were saying that he was UN rep during the Jammeh era, amongst other things. And so, you know, we're talking about diplomats now. Do you class diplomats in the same way that you would class, say, a jungler? You know, which is essentially the equation that these people were trying to draw between the fact that, you know, he had served that particular government and so should not be, because they said that government did not stand for Commonwealth values, and so he does not represent. So within his own country, some people have raised that, but he also got a lot of support within the Gambia. We have to be honest, but I'm aware, of course, and people are aware that there were those who were kind of contesting it. And just to say, for Senator Nwoko, we don't know whether this represents a general Nigerian view or just a single Nigerian view. Mr. Mboj, I'm not sure what your take is on the whole Tangara should or shouldn't matter.
Absolutely. The very fact that you said that the person, you know, who's thrown his weight behind Tangara, speaking for government, he's not in the parliament, and the rest of it. He could be a person of note within Nigeria. We do not know. Of course, for a good number of Gambians, as you said, they're behind Tangara, you know, not least because he's one of us, as it were. So, but again, that doesn't mean that we should all be cowed into that. So the people who came up with their criticisms, of course, entitled to it.
Absolutely.
And some might even say that they've made one or two valid points that needed some kind of response.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Reasoned response.
Quite. As I was saying in response to Balde, he said if he has the qualifications, but that's not the only thing that counts. As I said, they're kind of pro. And
it's mainly about experience, vision. What's your vision for it? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it?
And they were all asked to put forward and they all, to varying degrees, they all thankfully had different visions for what they had for the Commonwealth, you know, going forward. I would like to have seen all three of them put more emphasis on kind of making it, you know, answering the big question that gets asked: is the Commonwealth relevant anymore? That question I would have liked to have seen them tackle. Some couple of them attempted to.
Yes, but this is it. To me, they came across as being merely managerial. There was none of that vision thing there at all. Just mainly, you know, let's work on multilateralism, promote democracy. You know, these days we have to work with BRICS and G20s and all of these things. So I'm like, you really haven't pivoted really the Commonwealth to become a bigger voice given its size. So it was just never pitched like that. But maybe it's a victim of its history as well. It's necessarily restricted in its ambitions. It doesn't have any ambition. Right now, for us, what does it mean going on, banging on about democracy, rule of law, and all the rest of it, when economically nothing is going right? You know, when you're belly, when you're hungry, I'm not sure how far ideas can take you. Ideas don't mean much. So it seems to me that, I don't know, it's becoming irrelevant all the time. It's got its soft power, don't get me wrong, it's got soft power. A lot of people here will tell you, oh, I had a Commonwealth scholarship, or the judiciary will tell you, oh, we've had so much help from the Commonwealth, the judges. So nobody can ever deny that.
Absolutely.
It's just the big voice that we wanted, given its size, 2.7 billion people, something like that.
56 countries?
56 countries.
Is everybody
could have
represented?
Been.
How do you mean is everybody represented?
I mean, he's talking about maybe everybody wants to feel, I mean, the Commonwealth, when you talk about the Commonwealth at some point, you will get to realize I mean, there are many countries that are represented within the Commonwealth.
Yeah, 56 countries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at some point, whether it is serving its purpose, that's what exactly.
We're kind of asking what is its purpose.
Yes, so that's exactly what I'm
because
driving.
you never get the sense that it's acting as a concerted, unified entity. Yes, you have these 56 countries, you have 2.7 billion people, but then BRICS, you know what BRICS stands for on a global stage. You know what the G7 stands for on the global stage,
exactly,
etc., etc. So you have these, conglomerations and groupings. But for the Commonwealth, what?
That's it.
What is it?
That's the question. That's
is it trade? Is it economics? Is it this? Is it that? Whatever. What is it?
Then you realize it's not trade at all.
No, quite. Yeah,
BRICS one can easily relate to trade and such geopolitical concerns. But BRICS, but the Commonwealth was sort of the phoenix that arose from empire.
Yes.
For Britain to still really retain its soft power. Yeah. So it's more of a political country club. I don't know.
Yeah, because when Britain lost its empire,
exactly,
somebody had the bright idea, what do we do next? What do we do with all these former colonies? Okay, let's bring them into a kind of Commonwealth of Nations. And it used to be called the British Commonwealth.
Exactly.
They dropped that
gradually
from the name. But essentially that's what it was, and it's still, all these years later trying to find its kind of meaning for itself. They used to have the Commonwealth Games, they still have it, and it used to be quite, significant, games. But yeah.
And recently, it's been difficult for anybody to host it. The 2026 Commonwealth, they had to come with a compromise. Yeah, now it will be held in Scotland.
That's right.
Yes. Glasgow, I think,
Glasgow.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But a reduced,
much
reduced Commonwealth.
Sure.
So this is it. So that sort of British soft power being pivoted for British soft power, so we'll meet and have this friendly relationship around values of what? Good governance, democracy, respect
for the rule of law.
Respect for the rule of law, and all the rest of it. I'm not sure how much traction that thing has.
But one of the odd things about it is that even as people were saying it was dying, you had all these former Francophone countries and even one Lusophone country, Mozambique, that had never been ruled by the British, asking to be, and then being admitted
to join the Commonwealth.
And they are now. So Rwanda is now a Commonwealth country. It never was, never ever was ruled by the British. Mozambique never was. Benin never had been.
So it's open to countries that are not even that way.
It is now. It is now.
Okay.
But I think that should help it.
That
orient itself.
Exactly.
Because why do they want to be members of this club is the question that we need to ask. Because, like I said,
the purpose. It's not just a matter of being there.
Yeah.
But why do you want to?
Why do you want to be? Why do you want to join?
At the end of the time, what are they going to serve you with? I mean, that's
what are you going to gain
important.
from it?
So let's deal with this. I mean, story before we wrap up this segment. Swiss law professor explains gap in Sonko Korea trial.
Yeah.
Well, it's been stagnant for a very long time. We've not been hearing a lot of.
Because you've not been paying attention.
Activities.
No, Korea trial started on Monday. It's now been postponed to kickstart properly in April 2025. Okay. So it's not stagnant at all. But there are people who are challenging these things nowadays, where country X decides that they're going to arrest usually an African for a crime committed in Africa, and they're going to try them there. Korea, in his case, in the United States of America. So some people are beginning to question that and even challenge it. Because, let's be honest, most of the people who are being arrested and tried in these ways, they're all Africans, I suspect this might be what the Swiss professor is getting at. I haven't read the piece. His argument.
Yes, I know. We've always had this anxiety about this international instruments, thinking that we would be disproportionately affected by the
targeted and affected,
and otherwise. And yet, when I look at my continent, oh, we do have a good number of these people that need to be prosecuted.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is it. If you tell me that because I cannot have a kind of universal fairness, therefore I shouldn't have these prosecutions, well, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I'm working within an imperfect system. So I am not sure what this person wants me to do.
Yeah.
Because I cannot apply it universally, then let's forget about it.
Yeah, quite.
Bring back Korea, let them walk free.
Yeah.
Bring back Songkor, let them walk free.
Yeah,
what do you want us to do?
It's an unfair world.
You know what I mean? So what they're looking for, I do not know. He's crying for the moon. That's not ideally, things working ideally. That's too idealistic. I just don't know
exactly.
what he wants me to do.
Too idealistic. I mean,
and just quickly, before you close it, when in the Second World War, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, Franklin D. Roosevelt said this was a day that would live in infamy. But okay, let's be controversial here. At least Pearl Harbor was a naval target, so it's a military target. But later on in the war, the Americans bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, civilian cities. They were not targets. In a fair world, America would have been prosecuted for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but they never were.
Absolutely.
So,
well, it's not a
the
fair
world is.
But
all
for me,
fingers are not
one
equal.
thing I mean I am in for it's the long arm of the law
which is
can get to you wherever you are. If you commit atrocities here, know that wherever you are tomorrow they will get to you. So it's better to watch your steps. Yeah. Very important.
Absolutely, this universal jurisdiction thing. And you just never know. It has started this way. You just never know gradually
at this point,
how it will
at
become
this point,
emboldened.
we are closing this segment. Yes, thank you, Mr. Mboj, for reviewing the stories.
Yes.
I mean, it's getting very interesting at the end of the segment. So,
yeah, quite. But can I just make a quick public announcement?
Yes,
it's regarding the driving licenses. The police have put out a notice that those who applied for their licenses in March and June of last year, between March and June, can now collect, because they'd been told that they did not have the papers. But it's now, you can now collect from both Banjul and Kanifing if your license, driving license, is up for renewal. So I think I just better answer that one.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then the program will continue. We'll be right back. This is QTV This Morning.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
You're watching QTV this morning. Welcome back after the break. We've dealt with a newspaper review, the African Code. Now let's shift our attention to the third segment of this program, and we'll be talking about the Fab Foundation. That's the Fatuba Barrow Foundation. I mean, we've been seeing over the years the activities that they've been doing when it comes to you know, supporting, and of course when it comes to maternal health as well. We've seen they've been playing a very significant role. And we've also seen awards, I mean international awards awarded to the First Lady herself, you know, because of her foundation. And we'll delve into this and a lot. We have Mariama Sanyang, Senior Communication and Logistic Officer at the Fab Foundation. Mariama, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I would have confused you a fuller if I didn't see this Sanyang.
Oh, okay.
I would have said it's Jalo Oba. How are you? How many times have you got that on the road? Are you fuller?
I'm not a fuller, but almost I get that almost all the time.
All right, so it's good to have you on this program.
Thank you so much.
Can you take us through, tell us a bit about the Fab Foundation.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you very much for having me here today. Well, the Fatoumata Barrow Foundation, under the leadership of Her Excellency, it's a non-profit organization, of course non-governmental, that support poor communities, women, children, and vulnerable groups in the Gambia. The foundation supports key areas in health, social welfare, through education and social development programs. Yeah.
Well, interesting. I mean, and the topic today that we'll be talking about is the Maternal Award Initiative. I mean, which is very significant. Please take us through this.
Yes. As we all know, the First Lady is the mother of the nation. And being as a mother, you need to give birth first. And then coming back from the olden age, and now that the world is advanced, Her Excellency and the foundation, one of their main objectives since the inception of this foundation is to help women and children. Like, I'm going to say, women and children, it's one of the most important things that the foundation is always focused on.
Yeah, of course, yes.
And then, before you support children, you have to give birth first. And then giving this birth comes with its own complications, and it needs really support in it. I'm a new mother now. I have a baby and she's 6 months old now.
Okay.
And now I understand why.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I understand why her focus and the foundation is focused based on that maternal and children health ward. Being pregnant is not something that is easy. It comes with its own special things, you know, and then probably the people at home might not even know what you're going through. Obviously, mothers who have been through that will understand, but they kind of normalize it in such a way that, you know, she'll get through it. We've all been there. Yeah. But people who are pregnant need special care. And then some men, they don't know how it feels. They might only get sympathy with you.
No man knows how it feels.
No,
even those of us who were there when our children were born in the hospital, even we don't know how it feels. So no man knows how it feels.
I can remember when I first when I have my baby, my doctor told me that the second one is going to be easy. I told him, how do you know? He said, I just know. I said, come on, you can't. That one you cannot. Yeah. You understand? So that is why Fab comes with this, and First Lady comes with the initiative. We have to focus on giving a standard maternity ward. That has been our priority since the inception of this. But since we could not have fund, we tried to raise so much. Along the years we tried. We try to give them bed. We try to give them some maternity robe to the Edward Francis Hospital. We tried so much that little that we had at the time we did. But now that all of you had the $1 million, the fundraising, you know, now that the cash is there, we tend to do a standardized maternity ward across the country.
Across the nation,
9 maternity ward across the country, except RVTH.
Right.
The reason we're doing that, RVTH has a lot of burden. And the places like Esau and Soma, Farafenye, which we recently laid the foundation stone, is going to reduce the burden of people coming to Banjul. And imagine there's a ferry crossing.
We did have pictures of the foundation stone being laid, but I haven't seen them on screen yet. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, yes. So imagine someone having a baby with complications, and then there's a ferry. The ferry have an issue. If you have a standard one in SL, they don't have to worry about coming in there. That's the reason why we come out with this initiative. Let's have a standard maternity ward in all 9 hospitals throughout the region to help the burden reduce on these people.
You can see the foundation stone
Yes,
being
exactly,
laid there.
yes.
So
This was in SL. We did 3. This was in SL. We did for Jara Soma and then Farfanya also. Because right now, those are the strategic areas that's going to support this our health initiative programs. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, when is this expected to complete? I mean, you know, this is the laying of the foundation stone at some point.
And are some a bit further ahead than others in terms of completion?
Exactly. And, you know, at some point, healthcare is something very significant. You mentioned the issue of the ferry. Sometimes delay can really cause a lot of things, especially when women are due.
But sometimes the ferry is cancelled.
At some point, So when are we going to start, and when are we expecting to finish?
The one that we've already laid, the three maternity ward, we want them to be finished by 9 months.
Right.
So each is going to take 3 months
for
completion. Yes.
Okay. Right.
9 months.
9 months.
That's the plan.
Did they choose 9 months because that's also the
duration for delivery?
Pregnancy?
Yeah.
Or that's just a coincidence?
I think it's a coincidence.
Okay.
Since it's a 3 hospital, we assume like 3 months we'll be able to.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So what are we expecting to have?
Because we're talking about high quality.
Exactly.
So what kind of equipment and so on?
Exactly. What are we going to? How are we going to equip those? Hospitals?
Because we have the funds, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. So we want to have a standard one, as I said. We're not going to have only midwives and nurses, but we want to have we would like to have trained nurses who is going to help these women with postnatal problems. Okay. When they give birth, they'll be able to have someone who will be able to talk them to reduce them the stress that they already have. That's one part of it. And the second part of it, you know, since Fab is a charitable organization, we want to have our donors to help these women when they give birth, things that they need, also for them to go home, to go home with.
Because we've seen on the kind of New Year's firstborn babies, we've seen Her Excellency go out and actually give, you know, as we can see on screen here, much needed stuff. They don't just get, you know, a small something. They get something that will really help them, and some of them very, very significantly so, because, you know, a lot of them, they don't have the funds to do this. But as you said, the foundation has been very good so far at getting donors to come on board. And of course, when people look at something like this, they talk about the sustainability of it. So in terms of that, what's the program, what's the project for making sure that these are sustainable?
So, you know, we're not health personnel. What we can do is to give the compliment of the government, obviously. When we build these institutions, like these wards, the foundation is going to hand it over
to the ministry.
But of course, the foundation's name is going to be written on it. It's like it's going to be our baby. We have to nurture it for life. As far as the foundation is here, we're going to make sure what we expect to be in these wards, we're going to continue support by doing that. Because we don't want any woman to be left out. We want this place to be not kind of a safe haven, but a place where every woman be like, come on, that is a maternity ward, that's accept everybody. There's nothing like it's going to be like a mini private standard one, like what the private ward, private clinic are offering. This maternity ward to have something like that.
So I was going to ask a related question to that. Yes, it's being built to a certain high quality standard. Are they going to be the same size? Because the regions are different, and so yes. So in terms of ward sizes or bed numbers, it goes from what to what numbers? Like what's the smallest? What's the biggest?
Yeah, for instance, like in Farafenye, it's going to be much bigger. Most likely, we will have, let's say, we can have like 6 or 7 beds for that.
Right.
Different from Esau, where it's a little bit smaller. We can have like 4 or 3, depending on the region. So we're going to like build like the way the region is. If it's bigger, we can build them a bigger scale.
Sure.
If it's smaller, we give them the way, the size that the hospital provides.
You are our people will be looking for a huge
It should be bigger because URR is the second capital of the Gambia. So maybe we'll be looking at 100 beds. All right, so what are some of the projects implemented? Let's talk about in general the Fab Foundation.
Fab Foundation. So I got this question a lot. No, I haven't seen any organization here that have done what Fab Foundation has done since I started working there.
And how long was that?
I came in at Fab 2021, sorry.
So 3 years.
Sort of a thing, okay?
Yeah.
I think probably it's because we don't show off that much.
Right.
We don't show off the things that we've been doing. Since I started working for the foundation, Fab Foundation have built more than 50 community boreholes throughout the regions.
Yes, and it's worth mentioning because I think people tend to think just about the kind of maternity aspect of it. But yes, carry on.
We've done that, and then normally when when you mention the First Ladies Foundation, people tend to come there with a lot of requests. You know, they tend to also come there with their health programs, health problems. They want to go for overseas treatments. So what our Excellency did was like, we cannot take these people, like in an individual and escort, to go for overseas treatment. Fab did not have the money. Nobody has the money. So what she did, like, through her contracts, she tried to talk to the Saudi government. They have special doctors who can do these complicated surgeries. So we already partners with the Ministry of Health. They will tell us the cases that they already have here, and it's operable here, that even if the Saudi team left, they'll be able to, like, how did they call it? Is it post-operational, like they were able to take care of them even when they're left. That's what we did. So annually, since when I came annually, those doctors will visit twice a year to come and do a free surgical camp for these patients. And it's not just minor surgery. These are complicated ones that the doctors in here, not because they cannot do it, but they don't have the equipment to do it here. They come with the equipment. Sometimes they would like within a week, they were able to do like 150 or 140 operations. So you see, if it's going to cost someone $2 million to do that project, like the Saudi government will spend nothing less than $60 million to come and do that project here. The last one that we did the other time, they spent about $800,000 for them to come and do that treatment. You know, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot,
So that alone is something that the foundation is doing. And then also, when it's Ramadan, Fab Foundation, we distribute more than 1,000 bag of rice, sugar, and so many stuff. But Her Excellency, there's some certain things that she does not joke with. Things like Ramadan, she believes that when you're helping people, you don't need to show it on TV for people to know it. That is why we don't post those stuffs on our social media. Sometimes we do, for people to know we're doing. We do that, not too much, but we do that quietly. We distribute it to other regions. It goes as far as Basel. That's one, and it's not only Muslims. When Lent also come, you know, we'll invite the Christian community, they'll come to State House and they will give them their own food package also, which is part of it. Her Excellency and her foundation also, every year, through the Ministry of Education, she also select 10 best students.
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to mention it.
But
carry on.
Okay, yes. And then she will award them scholarship also. That's fine. And then sometimes, when it comes to this disaster management, people that get their house burned, she will also intervene. She will give them food stuff through the disaster management. We work hand in hand with them. And so many stuff that we do.
Exactly. So quickly, before we wrap up this segment, let's talk about her stand to fight, combat cancer and fistula, obstetric fistula as well. So I think that will lead us to the closing of the segment.
Okay, for cancer, that fistula, is it fistula or fistula?
Obstetric
Obstetric fistula. Yes. So many women, so many women are going through that problem here. I didn't know particulars. It's only I already know about it when we started working at the medical mission. Normally when they come, there are so many women that are affected that. Part of those surgeons that normally comes to the Gambia, we have a special team, not only one gyna. Like they have here, the person have his own team that comes with only for that. Just for that.
Right, okay.
So that's every surgical mission, you have to be assured that those teams are going to be there. So that's one of our main concerns. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, we are out of time now. Thank you very much, Mariam Sanyang, for coming on the program and sharing what the Fab Foundation does and what they are doing and their future projects, of course. But tell the First Lady, during Ramadan, we don't want rice, we want meat. So I provide a lot of meat.
We do also give meat.
Oh, you give meat, thank you. Make sure next time your meat should touch me. All right, so at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll engage the Immigration Department as they are preparing for the 18th ECOWAS Head of Immigration Forum to be held in Banjul. We'll be right back.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage, faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Plus. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
We are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. Now let's move to this last segment of this program. And now in our midst we have the personnel from the Gambia Immigration Department. We have Mamanding Esdiba, Public Relation Officer, Gambia Immigration Department. And of course, we have Ibrahim Mane, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee for the 18th ECOWAS Head of Immigration Forum to be held in Banjul.
It's 8, is it?
Oh, it's the 8th.
Yeah, okay.
8 rather.
Right,
Someone
right.
sent me 18.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the 8th.
That's the 8th.
Okay, so gentlemen, it's good to have you on this program. Mr. Diba, it's good to have you, and Ibrahim Mane as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Immigration ECOWAS Forum that is supposed to be held in Banjul. But first, let's start with the PRO. Can you provide an overview of the objectives of the ECOWAS Head of, Immigration Forum?
Thank you very much, Ibrahima. It's a pleasure for us to be here this morning. We send our greetings to your viewers around the world, as well as the management and program managers of this particular forum.
Thank you.
It is indeed a very big event for us, and that is what makes it all important for us to be here this morning to share this important development with the public. The ECOWAS Heads of Immigration Forum is an annual event that is usually organized by ECOWAS to bring together all the heads of immigration services in the ECOWAS bloc to collectively sit together and provide solutions to emerging mobility and migration challenges in the sub-region. The importance of this forum cannot be overemphasized, noting the fact that the sub-region is experiencing a lot of challenges that has to do with the movement of people and goods and services. And that is the more reason why ECOWAS, through our various heads of state, have have long aspired for the integration of the sub-region. So these things cannot be done in isolation until the services that are in charge of monitoring the movement of people and administering the movement of goods and services should come together collectively, seek solutions to challenges that they are collectively facing. So in terms of the significance of the event to the Gambia as a country, this conference is not only going to portray the Gambia as a significant and a leading player when it comes to matters of the sub-region, but it is also going to give us the opportunity to interact with our colleagues in the sub-region, share experiences, and find common approach to the best way we can solve these problems. So I think that is a very big important.
Yeah. So Ibrahima is part of the local organizing committee, and we like to.
He's the chairman of the.
Oh, the chairman!
Committee.
Wow,
Yes.
nice. Okay.
It's my
All
chairman.
right. So at this point, How far are you? What is the level of preparation?
And before you answer that, is this the first time it's being held in the Gambia?
The very first time. Yes.
Good. Okay. So
Thank you
yes,
very
please.
much. We are happy to be here. And then
Thank
thank you very much, QTV, for the audience. Like you said, I'm Ibrahim Amane, Commissioner Ibrahim Amane. My official designation is the Commissioner in charge for the Gambia Commission for Refugee.
Okay.
But for the purpose of this occasion, I'm wearing two caps, also doubling as the chairman of the organizing committee for the 8th summit of the head of immigration's meeting in Banjul. Like you said, as far as where we are, I want to conclude that we are at a very satisfactory stage, because the hosting of the summit is in twofold. Right. The one that is being handled by ECOWAS themselves, and the one that is being handled by us. But notwithstanding to the one that is being handled by ECOWAS, given the fact that we are the host on the ground, we also have to step into other areas to be able to cover them up. Right. So in terms of the venue, we wish to state that the venue on the 23rd is going to be at the Sadara Kairaba Conference Center. That is where we're going to have the summit that is going to be hosted. And then in terms of the number that we are expecting, it is going to be inclusive. In addition to Gambia, it is going to be 12 heads of Director Generals who are coming, of course, with some few...
And they come with delegations.
Exactly, some few ECOWAS officials who will also be coming with them. With inclusion of the Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali, who are not currently within the bloc, and of course, with the removal of Mauritania also, we will be limited to 12, including Gambia, that will be 12. So we are expecting these people, in fact, the official that is coming today, we are expecting an ECOWAS official who is coming today. He will be arriving at the Banjul International Airport by 6 p.m. today. So, but the rest of the delegates, especially the Director General, will be arriving on Sunday going forward. Yes, going forward, Saturday and Sunday.
So in kind of global numbers of visitors that we're expecting for this, including some of them will come, the media from some of these countries will come as well. What numbers are we expecting, and are you planning for in terms of your preparations?
In terms of yesterday, I had a virtual meeting with ECOWAS. We are not, as for now, even though today we are expected to have another one in terms of our wrap-up sessions, in terms of the planning and coordination. But as of yesterday, when we conclude our virtual meeting, we are not being told, and we are not expecting them traveling with any media team of this nature. What official told me, ECOWAS is coming with a 25-man delegation. You know, that is the projection. So, but now, due to our own invitation, because this is a summit that we cannot just host inclusively only with ECOWAS. We have to ensure that key government ministries and departments are invited, media and ourselves. So we are projecting close to 50 people who are going to be at the Sadara Kairaba Conference Center. On Tuesday. So the planning of the event is such that the conference center is booked. That is it's a done deal. In fact, this morning, part of the organizing committee will be at the conference center as the part of our due diligence session to ensure that the hall is properly inspected, all the equipments and the state of the environment that we expect it to be is in that form. So away from that, on our part, we have ensured that each of the Director General is going to be provided with an orderly, is going to be provided with a protocol officer from the day that he arrives at the Banjul International Airport up to the very day that he or she will be boarding his or her flight to go back home. We have also put in place OSAS who will be there to do the coordination to ensure that so our planning is such that it's very good as far as we are concerned, and then the hotels also that they will be lodging. I don't want to mention the hotel for now, for many other reasons. But the hotels also, our team will be going to the hotel to ensure that each of the room numbers that are allocated for our guests are also going to be inspected so that we are satisfied even before they come. And then the hot lists that are attached to each of the Director Generals who is coming is also going to be a fay with the specific room number of this hotel where his or her VIP is going to be lodged. So that from the airport, even before they arrive, before the orderly and the VIP will arrive, the protocol officer will be standing right at the gate of that hotel room where his or her VIP is supposed to be lodged. Until at such time the VIP is satisfied and then he releases them, then they will go. The following morning also they will pick them up. So what we are expecting on the 24th is the Director General, in his wisdom and in consultation with his management team, decided to host a dinner, as a farewell for our guests who are coming, and that will be hosted at the Paradise Suite Hotel at the Penchabi Hall. So on the 24th we'll have that. We'll also try to send invitations across for people who are going to be expected to host that dinner with us. So the dinner is also going to be massed with entertainment, food and drink.
So the summit itself, in terms of the format, what is it? Are we going to get presentations from the individual heads who are here, discussions? Because as PRO said, this sub-region is actually facing quite serious challenges regarding migration and so on. And so this conference is really quite crucial. So what's the nature of the summit itself? Are there going to be presentations from the various heads?
In terms of the proceeding of the presentations, each year when ECOWAS stage this kind of events, they come with an agenda of that event. This year's event, ECOWAS have launched this biometric identification scheme, as early as in the early 2000s. So countries have been obliged, to ensure that they implement the biometric system. Quite all right. A lot of countries have complied, to this arrangement by ECOWAS, but there's quite a number also who have not. But the good thing is Gambia has begun since 2018 when we started rolling out this biometric ID card system. So it is good to report that Gambia has been found compliant as far as the rolling out of the ECOWAS biometric system is concerned. But away from the rolling out of the biometric ID card within member states, ECOWAS has also been fighting so hard so that this free visa abolition between member states, the right to enter, reside, and establish business, regardless of where you are coming, as far as you are a citizen of the bloc. So the summit is basically aimed at trying to analyze, to critically look at the compliance, level, as how member state has worked, the level of where each of these member states are in terms of the compliance as to some of the specifics that I have mentioned. So that is the main nitty-gritties of these events today. But like you said, in the proceedings, there will be presentation by each of the Director Generals representing their countries as to how their profile is with regards to some of these thematic areas that I have mentioned.
So let's go back to Mr. Diba. What are some of the most pressing immigration challenges within the ECOWAS?
The pressing issues confronting the bloc are numerous, but some of the things that stand out will include the lack of unified traveling document. A standard traveling document that community citizens can use. Border management officials across all the countries in the bloc are faced with these challenges. You will see the entry requirements into the member states differ from state to state. And the national laws always take priority. So when people arrive at borders, for example, into the Gambia, if you are coming to the Gambia, one of the foremost requirements for entry will be a valid traveling document. So it is very, very prevalent that we usually receive people arriving at our borders without, what we consider to be a valid traveling document. We consider ID card as a valid traveling document, national ID card of member states. We also consider passport as a traveling document and emergency traveling certificate. But no, these things most people don't get these things, so they end up arriving at the borders with either voters card or some forms of written documents that they will present.
And then they complain about being stopped.
Yes, and they complain about being stopped. So I think, in fact, that is one reason why ECOWAS is trying to standardize things and make it use a harmonious way of putting these things together, so that if they roll out a standard ID card across the region that will be the same standard across the country, then this will be the identification document for all community citizens. anybody who arrives at the Gambian border showing this thing, you are allowed to come in. Anybody who arrives at this, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal border, you'll be allowed to go in. So to cut it short, I think we are confronted with, a unified kind of traveling document, and also, in the course of people's movement, so many things happen, because due to the human nature of us as beings, we are always associated with with so many things that are sometimes positive, some are negative. So cross-border crimes, trafficking in persons, irregular migration, and so many other things, are all concerns to the authorities in the bloc. So I think these are some few of the challenges that the bloc is confronted with, leading us to some situations of insecurity here and there, associated with drug trafficking, like I've also mentioned, human trafficking and organized crimes. So these are all things that will take.
Yes, Ibrahim, this is the 8th, ECOWAS Head of Immigration Forum to be held in Banjul. What are some of the things that you think we would be able to address during this forum? I mean, have you noted down, some of these things? Because at some point, this is the 8th. And I believe the 7th, there was discussions that should be implemented. It's important to know whether those discussions are also implemented and how far have they gone in the agreements of the previous session that happened maybe in another country.
Okay, thank you very much. The expectations are numerous, but like you said, just to double on the few points that you have made. Our expectation is ECOWAS, as one of the resolutions that they might come out of the Banjul Summit, would be how they will consolidate on the gain that are already met, and also to ensure that there is a high degree of compliance on the member states to ensure that we make ECOWAS a borderless region. In the sense that when we say borderless, we don't say there will be no physical borders, but the latitude for African ECOWAS citizens to be able to move freely, as the protocol demands, free movement of persons and goods, because we quite all right, all of us know, any one of us who travel across within ECOWAS members, we know there are a lot of hurdles that citizens of the bloc are still facing when you try to move from one country to another. This is something that ECOWAS has been battling of significantly, and up to now we have not still yet arrive at a satisfactory level as far as that particular component of the protocol is concerned. I think I may not be able to preempt what other Director Generals will be coming up, but I think from our end in the Gambia Immigration Service, I think these are some of the points that we will try to point out very clearly and very strongly through our able Director General, so that we don't only have these blueprints written as a protocol that we have acceded to, but of course to ensure that they are implemented, there should be that will, that courage to ensure that we don't only make these things a pronouncement, but we have to see them happening, in real time.
I mean, and in fact, if I may interject, I think that is why the team have completely spelled out one of the fundamental expectations that we are having as far as this event is concerned. And organizers of the event have not made any mistake by going with that theme, which is the acceleration of the implementation of the ECOWAS biometric ID card, and also the abolition of the 90 days free stay and residence permit in ECOWAS member states. So that is talking about making, like he have rightly alluded to, making ECOWAS a one big community where member states can freely flow around, do business and establish themselves wherever they find convenient to live and call it home.
Sure. I mean, looking at the Gambia and Senegal and looking at the rest of ECOWAS, we have a kind of peculiar problem. The very fact that we're trying to standardize the documents and the movements presents a problem for us, because many people see the Gambia and Senegal as the kind of departure points for those trying to set off on the irregular. It's easier than crossing the Sahara. If you can come here, or you can come to Senegal, and so on. So we have our own kind of peculiar things so I suspect our presentations from the Gambia and from Senegal will be around, can you help us with this? Because really that is where we need help, because the numbers are growing.
That is why, I think, that is why, in fact, like I have said in my introductory remark, these leaders will be converging in Banjul to, seek and discuss solutions, to emerging migration issues, challenges. This irregular migration will be taking a center stage because, community citizens, are suffering a lot in terms of, their, plans, in terms of their desire to reach Europe using these clandestine routes. The Gambia, because of its proximity to the points of destination, that is Western Europe, through Spain and more specifically Canary Islands, the Gambia have been an attractive departure point for most of the irregular migrants who want to go through these backways. So, and most of the times the QTV is you people are very privy to most of this information because you are always with us when we try to send the messages across. So you will see that the ECOWAS as a bloc need to help communities members like the Gambia to stop this kind of problem by doing their own very robustly at their own end before it spills over to the Gambia.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We've already exhausted the whole time.
And just very quickly, I suspect one of the items on the agenda will be the alliance of Sahel states, because yes, those three countries have formed their own alliance, but some of their citizens might want to migrate to some of the countries that are still in the ECOWAS, even though they're.
And what time is this starting? The timing?
It should be at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. And it's a whole day
It's
event.
a whole day, but I just want to mention one thing. Apart from the official opening and the coffee break, in addition to the official photo, the rest of the program on day one is going to be closed-door session, only with the ECOWAS officials and the Director General. But we are expecting that at the end of the day, they should be able to come out with some resolutions.
How many days?
Communicate.
I mean,
the summit itself is only a day.
It's only
the second day is just the dinner that we wanted to host on their behalf.
Right.
But it's going to be a whole day thing on the 23rd.
All right. Thank you, PRO, for coming, and thank you, Ibrahima. And I wish you a very good summit. Make sure you represent Gambia well, because at some point...
I thought you were going to ask for an invitation to the dinner, but anyway.
I will invite myself.
No, the PRO will work on the media.
Thank you. All right, so at this point, we'll close the program here. Mr. Ade, thank you for...
A pleasure.
Yes,
I've enjoyed it.
Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.